Evening everyone, how are we all doing? Never thought I'd make it today, but I'm here. That's the main thing. So, where are we at? So, over here is YouTube, and I haven't been on for many minutes. So, just scroll back and have a look. So, we've got Moose and Wendy. How are you? How you doing? Good to see you. William Rayborn. How you doing, chap? And the pans are going. Evening, fella. Hope you're well. Williams going. Sarah Jane, how you doing? Good to see you again. Just trying to click through here quickly. Have a look. Graham McRobert. Evening, fella. Panzer. Everyone's just chatting away. Archie at Common Road Junction. Good evening, Pat. Pal. How you doing? Stephen Barker. How you doing, chap? And we've got Marcin and Jerry over on Facebook. Evening, chaps. Oh, what a day, huh? I never thought I'd actually make it today. This new job malarkey and all that. I'm good, thanks, Jerry. How are you keeping? Evening, Athol. So, I'm masking today. That's what we're doing. Sure, I've done a little bit. Kind of naughty. I couldn't resist. So, you might have seen on my Facebook there, but there's my unmasked little turret there. It looks great. Looks the part. Steak. All good. Came out all right. That's Michael Wayne's Edard mask I got from Michael Wayne at MJW Models. So I'll remove this little rear turret one here and start taking the masks off of that first, and then we'll go on to the main canopy and whatnot. So I'll need to whip the old lamp on so I can see what I'm doing. Good stuff, Jerry. All good. So I'll whip the little lamp on there because I can't see nothing without it. I'm just going to pick off these unmasks and chill out and read the chat and relax. It's been a long day. There you go. So I'm just picking at a corner and then grabbing it with the old tweezers. Yeah, keep an eye on the chat at the same time. I had a few messages today. Would I be on and stuff like that? But I'm here. So all good. Evening, Paul de Sousa. 6 more days till the pub's open here. Deserve a pub beer. All this modelling has made me rather thirsty. Yes, I'll be looking forward to Friday anyway, even if it is just at home. It's nice to have a little drop. And relax. See, sometimes trying to get them corners can be a pain. See what this one's like. If this is any better. It's just it's just back from my windy walkies. It's quite windy here. It's been sunny, but it's been windy at the same time. Right, and we've got one here. I'm sure I've still got the guns to put on this one, but we'll sort that after. They're the little breakable bits that I like to do near the end, and we are near the end. Once I've demasked it, it's the radio wires, a few little finishing touches, and we're good. I've got no fingernails now because I've had to cut them off, which is a bit of a pain. It doesn't help when you're trying to take masks off and your fingernails have to be trimmed. This new job. Right. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. I think that's us. Yep. Oh no, there's one up there. Two little ones, little tiny triangles up there, just above the guns. Inside. There you go. Super. That looks apart. Looks good. You can see that very well, but it's a nice clear part. Came out spot on. All good. Hiya. All right, T over here. And Pancho, how you doing, fella? So we'll just put that back in there for now. There we go. Looks good. Looks good. That'll do me. Now the awkward bit. The canopy. You have snow and gales, wind force devastating my spring bulbs. I got a friend up Dundee way, and he was saying that he had snow and stuff. I was like, what? No, I'm just taking off this blue tack that I put on the bubble bit. This is where it gets fiddly because you don't want to break anything while you're doing it. I.e. them camo doors. Camo doors. Bombay doors. Last thing I want to do is mess them up again. It's just trying to get it all without messing that up. That's the only thing when you're demasking. You always risk messing it up. Helps if you can see what you're doing. Trying to get that corner, but my props are in the way. Should have maybe put the props on after. Oh my word, that's so tight to get in there. got it. Hey. She's trying to get that going. Because it's like two halves around a bubble window. Blister window, sorry, they call it. And it's only on one side, but it's annoying. Yeah, got it. Super. Evening, Ron. Good seeing you'll be doing a tank build live, laughing out loud. But the Lancaster is coming along nicely. Cheers, pal. Oh, come on. She's trying to get... Oh, there's so many little bits that I don't want to push the window through and all that kind of thing. And there's all these little bits in my way to actually get to the mask. It's kind of annoying. But we got it. Really? What you're going to hear is me moan while I'm taking this off, by the way. I like the demasking, but I hate the demasking, if you know what I mean. Evening, Chris. I like it once it's demasked. That it's that getting them off that I just hate doing. You know, some people hate decals and that. I'm alright with decals. It's this bit I hate. You know, his wrist scratching everything or whatever, one slip. Or breaking a bit off. Evening, Ivan. No, we're coming there. What a sniff, put down. Exercising down tonight. Yeah. So I'm just reading the chat at the same time, trying to make sure I don't miss nothing. I'd hate someone to ask me something and I've missed it completely. If you ask me something and I miss it, just ask again. I might see it. I was looking yesterday, well, last night, software on how to get guests on OBS, but to no avail at the moment. Come on. Yeah. You're getting it. If you can see that. No, you can't really see that in a minute. I'll show you in a minute. The main canopy has a lot of masks on it, so you can imagine. So we're getting there. trying to remember where I've masked as well, which is always a challenge. And it was a while ago when we masked all this, so sure I cut this side window too, so I will need to finish that window and then glue it in position. Oh, really? At least when you had to unmask, Chris, yours was the 132 nose from HK Models, wasn't it? So that would have been a lot easier than what I've got to do, that's for sure. Evening, Wayne. Now, at one side. Can't remember on this middle bit if that was a mask or not. I don't think it was. Yeah, it was a bit bigger, wasn't it, mate? Right, it's all working out so far. No issues yet. Nice clean lines. Just trying to get them all off. See if you could go back in time. I would just go back in time, and you see that designer at a Whitworth Whitley and stuff. I would say, oh, do you want to stop doing them tiny windows? That's what I would tell them. You'll make model builders a nightmare when they're in the future. Yeah, it's looking all right. I've got to put it down a minute. I'm getting cramp in my hand. You need to change the scenery in the spare room. I think about heading northeast to Aberdeen. Right, get this side. Problem is, keeping it in cam when you're left-handed is not the one. Boom, boom, boom. These little bits as well, they just stick to your hands. Oh. So there'll be no social media photos from now on. That's it. You'll only see it on the live, and that's it till the end. So Fred, so how was work today? Getting back into the swing of things? Yeah. To be fair, today I wasn't on the hands-on kind of work. I spent the day doing induction and online courses that you have to pass to carry on in the job. If you fail it, there's the door. And happy to say I got all my certificates. I passed it all. So tomorrow is all the hands-on, normal kind of what I'll be doing for many years to come. So in that aspect, yeah, it went well. But it wasn't really the hands-on horrible bit yet. It was, like I say, it was just certificates and stuff on online courses and stuff that I had to complete before I was allowed to go any further. So I spent the day basically on a tablet doing the courses. But it's all good. I passed it. That's what matters. So, let's see if I can get this thing shot for you. Yeah. There we go. All good. All the little side ones now. The ones that you accidentally punch through and then end up cursing because the wind has gone right through. That's the ones next. Get to it without any damage. One. Cheers, pal. Cheers, pans up. All good fun. There'll be a few little touch-ups here and there, but the canopy seems alright and everything, so. But with my eyesight, what I do is I take up close-up photos and I see what mistakes there is, and then I correct, sort them out before I do the final photos. So. Not sure about all this getting up at 5:30 in the morning carry on though. It's a bit of a shock to the old system, to be honest here. There we go, nearly there on one side. Looking good so far. Not counting my chickens and all that though, not quite yet. Still time. Right, them two are clear because I took them off to do the decal. So I'm sure the decal covered two of them. Evening, Ross. How you doing, fella? Right, that's one side off. All good. Seems to have come out okay. All the little windies there. They all stayed in position. Nothing come loose. All good that side. Panzer 5:30 is when I'm thinking last hour of the shift. Ah, right. So it's 5:30 at night. In the morning. Are you night shifting, Panzer? Good stuff, Ross. Neat. Lie down this side carefully. All these itty bitty bits of masking tape stuck to my fingers. Look, Fred, I'm only on night shifts. Alright. I remember back in the day when I was a teenager, you know, like I was about, I don't know, 19, something like that. I used to do night shifts all the time, security for Audi and BMW showroom in London, man. Oh my God. I remember my first shift there, and I'm sitting in this little security cupboard thing in a car park, watching over all the cars and stuff. You used to get like executives and that turn up at 2 o'clock in the morning to look at the cars, you know, before they open, so they don't get hounded by the sales reps and all that. And first night I was there, I was kind of nervous because I'm not used to being on my own in pitch black like that all night working, you know. And I lift up the security magazine, you know, like the monthly security magazine, and it's saying about a gang of thieves had grabbed hold of some poor security guard in like a Mercedes garage, and they tied him to a post and all that, like under gunpoint, and stole cars and that. And I'm looking at this magazine, and I'm sitting in this car park in this little wooden shed, thinking, great. I got all these Audis and everything else, all top of the range, you know, I mean, fabulous. Why did I look at that magazine? You know, I'll never forget that. So there we go. Windows are all there. All good. So we'll get the old nose one up there done now. Because that's just pretty much all clear apart from a little ring around the outside edge. Yeah, I'll never forget that. My first days doing night security. Absolute brick in it I was. Once I read that. Then were the days though, right enough. Evening, Tim. Just never forget that. That poor security guard and whatnot, and me. It was like Security Guard Monthly or something magazine. Yeah, Fred, that'll teach you to range change magazines. Yeah, I'll never forget it though, mate. Oh man, it was something else, you know. It's, you're like, really? Why did I read that magazine? Needless to say, I kind of was nervous for the whole night. I did it for about, I don't know, about 6 months. Used to get young kids using the car park as a skate park, and that at 1 o'clock in the morning I used to tell them to sod off. In a nice way. I used to just say to them, listen lads, do you want to go somewhere else? Because now I've got to write out a report on all this. And they were like, sorry mate, and away they'd go. So it weren't too bad. And I never got tied up, so that's a good thing. I'm good, thanks, Tim. How are you doing, pal? Them are the days, huh? And I was working on St Thomas's Hospital when they lifted the... I worked on St Thomas's Hospital when they lifted the Millennium Eye. And I was there for about 6 months doing all the floors in the hospital opposite Westminster. And they went to lift the Millennium Eye, and I'm watching out the window, and then the cable snapped and it dropped down back into the Thames, and I had to get stronger cables. That was a few years ago. I had to get stronger cables to try and lift it up into position. I had some crazy jobs. Over the years. What's that? I'm not a security guard. Emergency call handler. Good man. That can't be easy. Yeah, definitely. Hans is one of them that has to decipher petrified voices. Yeah. Oh, fair play, mate. Not an easy job. Especially you got someone like me on the end of the line. Oh, that little circle with a little ring on it. Oh, lovely jubbly. That nose come out really well. It's just a little faint line all the way around that circle underneath there. Good stuff. So paranoid that you're going to knock something and mess it up. There you go. Tape everywhere. Yeah. That's the old nose dump. There you go. Nice clear nose, and the circle underneath nice and clear with a little band around it as well. You can see it better on the photos. So cool beans. So we've got his little nose gun here. We've got one more after this little one to do, and then we'll spray a little bit of the dark earth on the window. That sure, I cut the window off at the side, and I'm going to have it in an open position, so we'll need to paint that, and I forgot to paint it before. So we'll get these off. and then we'll get that sorted. Evening, Dan. How are you, fella? Oh, Quano, man. Getting all sticky here. I'm good, thanks. Got a few completed models to show you at some point. Good, man. Put them on the club page, mate, and on the club group, and I'll once I've clocked it, because I've got yours and a few other people's that I need to put onto the page so everyone can see what the club's been up to. If you whip them on there, Tim, I'll get that sorted when I get a minute. Tape absolutely all over the place. How are you getting on with your stash fund, Sarah? Sure you were saying donate to your stash fund. Did it work? Just trying to get this last couple and this one. I think that's it. Yeah. Quite a fiddly one, that one. Oh, tape everywhere. Hi Fred, just woke up, so on the sofa wondering what day it is and who the flipping heck dribbled down my front. It's Sunday, mate. Every day's a Sunday. There we go. I don't think you can see that very well, but see you do it that way. Oh, it's alright. It's not hurt. Didn't hurt it. That's it, basically. No one has donated. Seems all the decent folk have run away. Oh dear. I think all the decent folk have seen the size of your stash and thinking, I want some of that. So that will sit on the front there like that once it's done. There's a band that goes over. That's the band that we need to quickly paint. So I'll leave that there. We've got to give that a little coat of paint quick. And in here, I have the little clear dome. And I have, if I can get it, my little clear part that I cut off. If you remember, I cut the side window so it was loose. So we need to get that sprayed up too. Hi Alexandra, how you doing? And evening Ian. So we'll get that painted in a minute. We'll just get that silly little one unmasked, little domey thing. Don't know where Colin and Dad and that is today. And work that in there. Like that. Super. So that's looking good. D-mask looking pretty. So these couple of bits need a quick paint job. Which side's? That side's a mask. Super. Fred, building an RC car is more relaxing than building a plastic kit. Yeah, more than likely, mate. Now, I'll just stuck that on there so we can give that a coat of brown. And there'll be no paint bleed under there then. I'm just going to fold that edge over. Stick a little clamp on there. And that's me ready to paint. Without any hassles. And this bit, curve it like that. Get on here like that. Should hold that. No. That's a bit that goes across the front nose, so that one's dark earth. And the old compressor on. It's RAF dark earth in the Alclads. Evening, Andy. Right, I can't get paint on my hands. I need to be careful. He says. Tough. That'll be dry in about 5 minutes. But the Alclad stopped selling larger bottles as the primers. They're all been turned into the 60ml glass bottles, mate. You might be lucky and still manage to get one now and again from like old stock, but they're all the 60ml bottles now. And the reason is, from what I was informed by Alclad, is it's all down to the environmentalists, is the polite way of saying it. Cracking up because the plastic bottles can't be recycled. So they had to change to the glass bottles, so they're 60 ml now. I still have some of the plastic ones, but once it runs out, it runs out. They all come in like that, 60 ml bottles, opposed to the little 30 mils. So yes, mate, them ones. Evening, Michael. Yes, lots and lots of complaints from them. Jim Beam grains. I have large glass bottles. They used to do big tins of it. Yeah, the big tins tended to be the USA, buddy. It wasn't so much the UK. That was more when it was the American range here to start with. Sure, they work in different ounces or whatever it is as well. It's not mils. So yeah. And that's nearly dry, so all good. Once that's dry, what I'll do is I'll give it I have to give it the same process as I did the camo to make it blend in and match the same colours. So I'll need to aqua gloss it and then matte coat it, and then it'll look exactly the same as the camo, and it won't look out of place, and it won't look like I've only just done it and all that. What's that? The thing is, do these 60 ml bottles fit into our paint racks, or do we need to buy bigger thread? There is a 60 ml paint rack, mate. There's 60 ml paint racks on my site. There's the 30 ml paint racks and the 60 ml. So they are available. All good. I just built my paint racks so they fitted 60 ml bottles to depth, so you can have a spare bottle in front of it, and then all the little 30 mls fit on my paint racks at the same time. That's what I did. Kind of cheated. I kind of got multi-purpose racks, but I have got them little white ones with all the circles and all that lot, and they come into the different decks. Sure, I had them when I was in my shed. Right, that's dry, so I better quickly aqua gloss that, and then that'll be dry in no time at all, and I can quickly matte coat it, and then it'll look identical to the rest of the model. Yeah. Seems strange matte coating it when it's already matte, and aqua glossing it first and then matte coating, sorry, but it's so it matches the rest of what I did on the model. Sure, I aqua glossed it, done the decals, and then matte coated it. So you need it to look exactly the same. Otherwise it will look odd. Boom, 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 boom. Racks and racks of Vallejo I used before. I need to buy more. Just ask out of curiosity. Yeah, no worries, pal. I think the Vallejo bottles are slightly smaller, aren't they? Anyway, aren't they? If I remember rightly. I think they're smaller than the 30 mils too, so. Vallejo's still good to have, mate, because I still have all the little humble tinlets and the little freebie pots of paint that you get in the Airfix starter sets. And to be honest, they're great for like detailing and stuff like that. So, you know, I cut quite a few in a box. Just the majority I use the Alclads, but the Vallejo's are 17 mil, yeah. I think I've used the Model Air a couple of times. They're quite nice to brush paint. You know, because they're that thin way. They're quite nice when you brush painting the old Vallejo. The Model Air, anyway. Clear coat black. That's the old bottles you're on about. I've still got I've actually got a little doormat rug thing under my chair because every time I sat down I ended up sliding around, so I've now got this lovely little rubber doormat that stops my chair from moving. Quite handy. That's just about dry. What we got? 54. We've got 6 minutes. That's all right. We'll get that matte coat on at least. All good. That's my airbrush I use. It's a Grex Trigger airbrush. Just like the top notch ones that we've got on our site, just a different colour handle. That's all. They're really cool. And you just adjust it there, and that's you. So if you're doing like pre-shading, just screw it up a bit, then let it out a little bit. And then when you got it to the fine line, you just set it to where you want. It don't matter how hard you pull on that trigger, it'll just fine lines all the time. Our Fox tried to get you on, did he? We sell one called a Top Notch, and it's identical to this. Same parts, same everything. The only difference is it hasn't got Grex, it's got Top Notch written on the side, and it's a black handle here instead of green. And that is the only difference. It's the same manufacturers, but cheaper than 180. Yeah, this one was about 180, and just the little nozzle on the end. If you split the nozzle, you're looking at about 40 odd quid because you can only get them in the US. So, but really good. I mean, I've had this for years, and it's never failed me. And I teach with this at the model club too. We have one at the model club, and the guys are brutal. You know, they drop it. They're brutal with it, and it works a treat. So it is a great airbrush. You know. Evening, Richard. How you doing, fella? Yeah, it weren't a bad day, mate. Like I was saying earlier, I had to do a lot of online um what do you call it, had online tests and stuff like that I had to do. I was in the workplace and we'd done all the paperwork, and then they put me through all these tests, different tests. So I passed all the tests. I've got loads of certificates to say I passed and blah blah blah. So tomorrow the proper sore bones and aching all over bit comes, but it'll be fine. So that's me just matte coating that now. So there you go. Someone beat me to it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. Aqua gloss matte coated brown. So that's ready now. When I'm ready, that can go on. And it's one of them all-in-one brushes that can double as a phaser. I just prefer it, you know. I've got the toggle top ones, you know, where you like this. But to be fair, I'm a little heavy-handed, and now and again I'd be pre-shading, and then I go too hard like that, or pull back too much, and it go, and I go ah. So I like it because once I've adjusted it to how I want it, it stays that way, and I can adjust it any time to whatever I want. So. And it's easy to clean, easy to strip. I actually only fully strip clean it every build. Once I finish the build, I strip it down and clean it. And in between builds, I just blow through and that's it. Fred, what is the price and where can I get one, mate? The Grex one's 180 odd pounds. I think they've gone up now to nearly 196 or something for the green Grex one. And they come from America, so you got import and all that carry on. The top notch ones are on my website, mate. I think off the top of my head, they're identical to that. In fact, I can probably take parts off of this one and put it onto the top notch one. You know, they're identical. And I think they're about 120, I think. So a big difference in price for this exactly the same thing. If you hold the two together, you go, they're exactly the same and they're the same quality, you know. But I think they're about 120. We have trigger bottom top ones as well, if you prefer that. They're slightly cheaper. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're about 120, mate, on my site, www.modelers/united.co.uk. I think it's all down to preference, but I've seen loads of modelers using them as an overhead trigger. Can be hard on the older fingers. Yeah, I know many of people that have like a trigger finger problem, and they prefer the trigger, you know, because that like this all the time and pulling back all the time is uncomfortable. Whereas with the trigger, it's nice and simple. Each to their own, you know. We have two different types, so but they're all made by the same company that makes the Grex ones, just a lot cheaper. So that's that done, and that's it dry. So all good in the hood, as they say. There we go. One lovely little brown bit there. And my little window that I cut. Everybody has their favourites, you know. I've had cheap Chinese ones and used them for years. and they're okay. But when I got any type of decent airbrush you get, it's a big shock, because it's like, wow, it's like going from an old Ford Escort to a Ferrari, you know. So there's my little window there that I've got to glue in now, where I'm having it in that open position. Not right now, but sure, cut the window out in the front there, over here. So I've got to slot that in there, in that bit there, and sort of try and slot it in and tuck it in, so then it's looking like it's open. That's the theory. And this thing here, this wonderful little bit here, should go on there once it's glued on, a bit like that, on the side there. So that's the plan next time round, and we'll see how we go. All good fun. So that's oh, we're out of time already. Right, camera one. My cheap Chinese are used for laying down pre-shading, and use different size of needles, which fit okay, so no breakages so far, touch wood. Yeah, I mean, it done me well, mate. Done me for 2 years, you know. I spent 2 years with them. Yeah, but it was a world of a difference once I realised that, you know, it was completely different to use than the old Chinese ones. But I mean, they done the trick for me. It's a good learning curve, the Chinese ones too, because you can accidentally split nozzles and whatnot and bend needles, and it gets you into the idea of how to clean them and all that kind of malarkey, before you go and spend a bit of money on one. But it is an investment, no matter how you look at it. So, right, guys, I've waffled on long enough and bored you for long enough. That's just got masks off, and it's looking cool, as you can see there. All the masks are off, windows are on, everything's cool. And that side there with a window and a hole, what we've got to sort out. So all good. Leave that over there. That's it. Be good when inside. Cleansing the doctors yet. Thank you for the show. See you again Thursday. Cheers, Panzer. No worries, pal. Yeah, so that's it. I'll see you all Thursday at 7 o'clock. Hopefully I'm not too tired. I'll schedule it for then, but depending on how I feel after work. So don't be surprised if it's scheduled and then it disappears. But I'll let you know. So it should be still on Thursday. No worries, pal. So yeah, that's it. Turpits. So yeah. No worries. Take care, fellas. Stay safe. Mine's around the house making aeroplane noises. Yeah. I think my missus would slap me. Take care, stay safe, everyone, and I shall see you all Thursday at 7 o'clock. So, hi Fred, I'm late. Hi Annette, yes you are. Take care, stay safe, see you soon, guys. Bye for now.